Hey guys, welcome to the first video of the Simple Planes Help Desk channel. Today we're gonna go over how to properly build your first airplane and center of mass, center of lift, center of thrust, and how that applies to different aircraft. Normally you would have already completed the build your first plane tutorial. However, in this video we're going to go over how to properly build one instead of just using blocks. We're going to be using fuselages today. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, I've opened up a new plane. Now, this is usually what you start with. In the normal how to build your plane lesson, we use these blocks right here. However, in this lesson, we will not be using them. Let's make this quick and to the point. There are many types of fuselages in which you can do many things. There's the hollow fuselage, the glass fuselage and its hollow variant, and the fuselage block. The fuselage cone is sometimes useful, but I would rather at least me, I'd rather make the cone by using other fuselage pieces like such. As you can see, you can make a little cone. Obviously not like this. You can have it, decreasing in a steady rate instead of just point. Anyways, these are the types of fuselages that are most commonly used, at least in the more professional planes that you see as being highest rated and with lots of upvotes. Okay, so let's put these back and I'll show you how to build a very simple plane. Let's start. So first, we'll get the fuselage block. And then we will go right here and extend it like such. Let's go right here, add section, and let's add another section right there. It's good to have your planes with a lot of length. Well, not length, but actually weight. Because the heavier it is, the easier it is to fine-tune to make it perform the way you want it to perform. Alright, now this feels a little bit too long. Let's decrease it. Okay, that's a little bit better. Now, we will be making a jet plane. So, there will not be a propeller in front. Whoops, we'll get a fuselage cone right here. And now we'll go back here and add a jet engine. Now, as you may have noticed, we have these different colored orbs around the aircraft. There's the blue one, there's the red one, and there's the yellow one, which you can't really see because it's inside the engine. Now, these will be important later, but right now, let's continue building the plane. Oh, by the way, you can enable these by pressing space, or if you are on mobile, you can go right here and press this button. Alright, let's continue building the plane. Here we have the wings section in the parts menu. Now, wings can be kind of complicated to use, so I'll show you what exactly you have to do to make your plane stable. First, use the primary wing. You can mirror this by just pressing this button and then this button. This effectively mirrors the part you have selected. This mirrors the whole plane to the left, this one to the right, and this just mirrors the plane in a certain, we could say, grid. But right now, we'll just be using the mirror part. Alright, now we have the two wings right here. Let's do the horizontal stabilizer. Put the horizontal stabilizer right here, then mirror it. Now we have the vertical stabilizer. Just put it right there like such. We will not be keeping it in this shape. We will change it, obviously, because this doesn't look good and probably won't fly good either. Alright. Let's change the wing to something that looks a little bit better. That should do it. Now, let's go over here and mirror this to the other side. Nice. Now the wing is looking a lot better. Now, as you can see, there are these different colored parts in the wing. These are the control surfaces. Normally, these control roll, these control pitch, and these control yaw. Pitch makes your airplane go up and down. Roll makes your plane, makes your plane roll. Yaw makes it move in a horizontal direction, like such. Alright. These can be expanded easily by just clicking on the wing and clicking Edit Shape. And then you can effectively mirror it again. So it's exactly the same on both sides. Now, let's edit the horizontal stabilizer. Let's go over here and edit wing shape. We'll shorten the length, but increase the width, like such. Looks a lot better than before. Boom. That's already looking a lot better. Let's do the vertical stabilizer now. I don't like how far up it is on the fuselage. Let's try changing that. Press this button right here, and then press this gear button. This allows you to adjust the rotation of the selected part, the height, how far it is from the center of the aircraft in terms of, well, this direction, and obviously the left or right direction. Whoops, I had that selected. Like such. Now, if I want it to be more backwards on the aircraft, I will make it go backwards by clicking this button. But I just noticed something. It's not touching the fuselage. I don't like that. I'm going to lower it by pressing this button. You can do the same to lift it by pressing the other button. Same thing with these other buttons over here. Now say I want this to be more angled. What should I do? Well, I can do this. If I want it to be angled more this way, I'll do it like that. Or like that. And if you want to change the rotation amount, you can just go right here and change this manually. It doesn't have to be set like that. You can put, say, 7. And it'll rotate by 7s. Same thing with the nudge amount. The nudge amount is how much it moves forward or backward or upward, like that, side to side. That's position. Alright, let's edit this to make this look a little bit better. Now that looks like a fighter. Now, I've just noticed something. We don't have anything to let air in to the engine. This means when I try to fly it, it will display this message. Your engines aren't getting enough air. Try putting some inlets on your plane. This means the engine has nothing or no air to propel out of the back end. So you have to add a little inlet. So right here, what most people would use is this thing, the inlet or the slim inlet. But I highly recommend against doing that because these are ugly. Be honest, these are ugly. Look at that. Not nice. So let's go over here and let's add a fuselage inlet. The fuselage inlet works the same as both of these, but they are adjustable, like such. Just like a normal fuselage. Now, let's go over here and let's make it look like the F-16, which has a kind of happy face looking inlet. But how can I make it look like that? Well, pretty simple. Right here in the end, once you reach the end selection, or the backward selection, you can adjust the fill or cut the fuselage like such. So say I want it to be more like the mouth of the F-16. I lower this amount right here. Now, as you can see, it didn't cut on the back side. You just go back here and put it to the same value. Whoops. Alright. Now we've got something that kind of looks like the F-16 intake. But, you see, it's not really touching the fuselage. Well, we'll use our handy-dandy little movement thing right here. And bingo. You've got it. But, for some reason, it's still clipping out of the side. Simply just adjust the width or height depending on your situation. Now, it is properly inside of the aircraft. Let's do the backwards as well. Awesome. Doesn't look as much as the F-16, but it works. Let's move it back so we can properly make it go inside of the fuselage to make it look good. Alright. Now, keeping it like that won't be fun. So what we have to do is grab another fuselage right here. And then we can simply go back here and look at the width and height. Here, let's adjust the height to the width to 1.5, and the height can stay at 2. Now we simply just go up here and lower it to 50, just like it is on the intake. So it goes in flush. Now, I don't really want to do this to the back fuselage. It takes too long. So we can just click Add Section right here, and it will make an extension of what you have selected. You just grab right here and press the right click on your mouse if you are on computer. Sadly, in mobile, you cannot copy parts as far as I know. Alright, let's go back here and let's attach it to the thing. Oh man, looks like it didn't connect properly. How can we fix this? Well, simple. Just to adjust it until the point is exactly right behind it. Or else if I just try to move it upwards, it's going to be clipping, which is not fun. So we're going to just try to make it to around the same length away from it. Okay, almost there. Boom. Alright, now, as you can see, it is to the left, or right in this occasion, of our fuselage, and we don't want that. So we're just gonna go here and center it by pressing 0. Now, not all the time is the center of your airplane gonna be 0, 0. Sometimes if you exit, it may be on, say, 0.1 or 0.6, and that's not fun. So always make sure your aircraft is lined up at 0, 0, or whatever it is lined up at, and then copy paste that, or yeah, just copy paste it and then paste it here. Now it says 0, 0, but it's still clipping on the bottom. So let's make it go higher so we can, make it look flush and good. Oh man, you see how you can kind of see how much there is still of a gap right there? Simply just go over here and copy and paste the height. Boom. Now it's nearly invisible. Okay, now, if I just continue adding in, it won't go in the fuselage. So what I have to do is increase its rise. Rise increases the height of the fuselage. Well, it doesn't increase the height, but it angles it like such. Run basically does the same thing, but to the sides. Cool, right? Alright, that's looking pretty neat if I say so myself. So let's lower it a little bit so it's more flush. Oh man, how did that happen? Guess we're gonna have to move it forward. Alright, now that looks good. Now, let's try to fly it. Let's see if it works. Oh, it seems that it does not work. I wonder why that is. Let's go check our center of mass and center of lift. As we can see, the center of lift, highlighted in blue, is up on the fuselage. But it is downwards in terms of height. The center of mass is, well, up on the is behind the center of lift, which is correct. However, it is too high and too behind the aircraft. It has to be around the center. Or rather, it is not correct. The center of lift should be behind the center of mass. My apologies. I did not mean to make that mistake. Now, how do we fix this? Well, simply we can go up here and increase the dead weight. Now, as you can see, that increases or makes the center of mass go forward. Let's do that to this too. Alright, cool. That should be a little bit more stable. We can also increase the how far up the cockpit is, so it looks a little bit better, and the mass goes a little bit forward. Now, say even after you added all of that, it's still really behind. Well, we can go back here into mods, and if you already don't have it enabled fine tuner and overload. This allows you to directly mess with the simple plane's code and alter the mass equivalent or mass power, quote unquote, of a certain object. So we can go right here into the nose cone and press this button right here. This opens the XML menu. Now, this all looks really complicated, but don't worry. All of these are mostly simple. Mass scale is the multiplier of mass. If I press 2, now, instead of being 1,000 pounds, this will be 2,000 pounds. And as you can see, the center of mass is a lot more forward. We can also make the center of mass of the engine, or the mass scale of the engine, to 0. This would significantly reduce the engine, or weight, I mean. Now, the center of mass is a little bit too forward, and the more farther apart the center of mass is from the center of lift, the harder it is going to be to turn. So let's lower that a little bit. Alright, that looks good to me. Let's try flying it out. Looks like it's stable. Turns kind of well too. Pretty fast. But I just noticed that the roll of this aircraft is too much. It's really hard to control where I turn. We can easily make it less sensitive by going over here and editing the shape of the control surface. We can lower it like such so it moves less. There we go. Now it's a lot more controllable. Alright, now, I've got a feeling that this could look a little bit better. Let's edit it to look a lot more cooler. Here, I will decrease the height and I will increase the rise of the aircraft like such. I will go right here and press 0.1. This allows the aircraft, well, allows me to lift the fuselage a little bit like such. Now it looks a lot cooler, but I'm not that big of a fan of these colors. Simply go into this button right here, the paint tool. Now, I cannot edit these colors right here because they are the default colors. I can go right here and press custom. This will allow me to add color codes and allow me to access the hue of the colors. Let's go right here and let's make this plane look a little bit like the F-16. I want a dark gray and a little darker gray and a slightly lighter gray. Now, as you can see here, there are 3 types of styles: flat, semi-gloss, and gloss. Gloss makes it seem like a little, it makes it reflective. Flat makes it, flat. Semi-gloss is, well, kind of what it sounds like. It is semi-gloss. It's not as glossy as gloss, but it's not as flat as flat. So let's go right here and paint all of this like we want. But man, even like this, I don't want my thing to be just, gray. Well, simply go right here. I'll just give a really cool little cockpit color. And press target to trim. Depending on what trim you have, it will change different colors or different parts of a part. Change a color a different part of a part. So, primary will obviously target the largest, or well, sometimes the largest part of the part. So say the wing, if I put the primary to black, it will target the primary, or the biggest part of the wing. Let's put it back to gray. Now, if I want to make the control surface black, I press trim 1, and that's going to make it black. Now, for the engine, there are many trims you can put, as you can see. Let's go over here and put the trim 1 to that too. Dang, looking nice. Let's put it all back to this. Alright, so let's put it to that. This kind of looks like the F-16 when you mention it. Alright, let's go over here and set the primary too. Wow, this kind of looks like the F-16 to me. But the F-16 doesn't have a thing just cut out like that. I don't like how it looks. Well, you can just copy and paste this and put it back there. Boom, kind of looks like the F-16 now. Oh, I forgot to do this part. Let's do that again. Whoopsies. I think I had it to this. Yep, there we go. I'm gonna save this as F-16 test. Cool. In my opinion, looks kind of cool. Alright, let's slide. Sheesh. Looking kind of nice. Alright, let's add the landing gear now. Now, this is really important. Landing gear adds a lot of mass and drag to your plane. So what I always do is remove the mass and drag using the XML menu. Just set these two values to 0. Now the F-16 doesn't have the landing gear up here. It has it down here. However, this clearly could not work because the center of mass is right here. So for now, we're going to have to put the landing gear right here. We can use the position menu to move it up the fuselage so it's more hidden, like such. We can also use this, the overload, to change its scale. You press the scale tool, and here is the multiplier. I want it to be 0.8 times smaller. There you go. Now the colors on this one are also editable. So we just go right here, put primary to that, or trim 1 to that, and boom. That looks kind of cool. Alright, now let's get, let's try the wing landing gear. Now, this side usually goes on the right wing, I think. Yeah, I should be right. Let's go over here, and let's decrease the mass in drag scale to 0. Now, something I noticed is that they're not at the same height. What do we do? Well, simply, we can go right here and increase the length of this. The length and height. Well, maybe, I'm not sure exactly which one does. Let's try it out. Okay, so this increases the height, but now it looks off scale. What should I do? I think I should increase the length of it. that should make it to scale. Let's try it. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. We can keep increasing it. And now they are relatively at the same height. Alright. Now, let's quickly end this because this is getting kind of long. Boom, bam. And now we might want to space these out or else my plane is going to tip over when I try to land. Alright, let's try it. Landing gear goes up. Well, it clips out of the fuselage, but that's okay for now. We're just trying it out. Let's restart it into a proper landing position. Let's speed up. Now, this should land and stay up, but if it doesn't, we'll have to edit the suspension and damper of the landing gear. Alright, let's go back to normal time. Landed perfectly. Alright guys, I'll be ending it off here today, but there will be more tutorials to come. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and the link for this craft will be in the description of the video if you guys want to tinker with it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.